All right. Thank you, Eric, and glad to be stepping in for Coach today. He and I have been in regular contact throughout the weekend as the bowl situations developed and the options started to become more clear. He is in New York today. I say New York instead of Manhattan as to not create any extra consternation for any of our fans. He's excited to get back and get to work on this team. But I promise to try and weave in something about culture, something about core values, selfless, tough, discipline in my remarks today. And Brett, maybe even I can get a little edgy with an answer or two to try and just keep you guys as normal as possible. Very excited for our coaches and players. Anytime you get a chance to go to a bowl, that's obviously very special. This will be our third straight, which has only happened here once before. We've heard great things about the experience at the New Mexico Bowl. Marshall has raved about their experience last year. UTSA had a great experience the year before, so we're excited to be able to go to the land of enchantment. And Utah State's obviously a very good opponent. I think they won 10 games already. They're ranked in the top 25 in the coaches poll, so it's a very good Mountain West opponent. It's a great opportunity for our players to continue on their momentum. The team's excited, already working. They've talked all year about needing to accomplish the mission, and so I know that they are very, very excited about the opportunity to get a 10th win and to get a bowl victory, and that would allow them to get a ring. So you got a lot of seniors that hadn't had a bowl win, and that's something that's really important to them. I would like to emphasize that we would like for our fans to come, first of all, and to buy their tickets from our ticket office. Those tickets that are purchased from our ticket office, that money directly benefits our student athletes and our program. And if you buy your tickets elsewhere, it doesn't. Attendance at bowl games is just important because it continues to elevate your natural brand and gives you a presence that people notice and gives you further opportunities in the future. Just a handful of highlights, and then we'll take questions. But it's only the second time in school history that we went to 3 consecutive bowl games, the previous one being 01-04. And Coach Luttrell is the only North Texas coach that's taken a team to the bowl games in his first 3 years as head coach. It's only the second time in our history we've won back-to-back 9-win seasons. And the opportunity to win 10 is special. That's only been done twice, in 47 and 77. And in 77, those 10 wins actually included a forfeit. So we did not win a game on the field, but ended up winning a game because Mississippi State played an ineligible player. It just means more. All right, we need to edit that part out probably. We are 3-7 in bowl games all time. We won the Optimist Bowl in '46, the New Orleans Bowl in 2002, and the Heart of Dallas Bowl in '14. We're 3-4 all time versus Utah State. Conference USA is 1-3 in the Mexico Bowl. Marshall beat Colorado last year, but the last 2 games been very, very close games. And so just the opportunity to beat a top 25 team is special. We don't get a lot of those opportunities. When we have, very few have been home or neutral. They've been on the road because they've been bye games or whatever. So if we're able to knock them off, that'd be our first top 25 win since '74. And I think our lifetime top 25 is 1 in 47, something like that. So it's obviously an opportunity to get a top 25 win at a neutral site in a game that we're really excited about. So take questions on anything that I can answer. Don't ask me any offense or defense strategies unless you want me to make it up.
How much of a choice did y'all have in this whole bowl process?
Yeah, man, it's one of the biggest misconceptions is that we choose bowl games. The way that our conference is set up, the division champs and then the overall conference champs get to express a preference, but even they do not get to decide. Beyond that, you can express your feelings, but there's no no promises that they'll be considered. No, you don't get a say. They don't present you with either or opportunities. You sit around and wait, and until I didn't know until yesterday. Now things start to become clear because Bahamas and Hawaii went early. That's a third of our bowls, and then you kind of start to hear. You knew UAB was in middle is going to be in the championship game, so you kind of know what their preferences are. You hear it through the grapevine, or sometimes you just call and ask them directly. What are you telling your preference? So it starts to get narrowed down a little bit, but you have no choice at the end of the day, and that's not just North Texas. I called the AD at Baylor, Mac Rhodes, who's a really good friend of mine, yesterday, and said, "Hey, all right, do you know this is 11 a.m.?" He's like, "No, brother, I'm waiting just like you are." So ESPN either owns or controls the TV rights to a bunch of those bowls. They have a ton of influence on the selection process. The commissioners, along with the bowl execs, also work together. But there's a lot of moving parts. As you know, there's a team from our conference that got left out yesterday. And so I think our conference office was doing everything it can to work them in. So ultimately, we don't have a selection process, but we're very excited to go to New Mexico, and we're very excited to have the opportunity. I mean, there's a lot of teams that don't get that opportunity, and we haven't had enough of them here. So it's exciting to get 3 in a row and really to be establishing a tradition of going to bowl games.
What have you heard about the bowl from the bowl game, and what's appealing about the experience?
I think they just do a good job with activities. You stay there. They have several fun things put together. I can tell you that Marshall, being our furthest east school, going to our furthest west bowl, like they weren't real excited when the selection come out last year. And both Coach Holliday and Mike Hamrick, who are good friends and colleagues and I got a lot of respect for, said in the league meetings that they had a very enjoyable experience, and it was one of their better experiences since they had both been to Marshall. So, I think just keeping the players entertained, giving them various things to do, whether that's visiting sites or activities, and is something that you would really like to see, and I think New Mexico does a pretty good job of that.
How important is it for the program when you have a great team like this to kind of capitalize on the opportunity as a program across the board?
Yeah, I mean, certainly we want to win the bowl game because we feel like it just continues that momentum. 9 games is something that's been very rare here. I think we've done that 7 times now, 7 or 8. And so winning 10, takes that one more step forward. And we have seniors who've been a huge part of turning this program around and turning the tradition around. And so you want it for them most of all. I don't want to speak for Coach, but I don't ever view any one game as this is a game that's going to make or break where our program's going and where our momentum is. But certainly, if you win 10, that's something that nationally people recognize and notice. You win on national TV in a bowl game, and that's going to be on a Saturday. It's one of the first games, so there'll be a pretty good TV audience, would be my guess, to see 2 really good teams, a good matchup, 2 high-scoring teams play. So it'd be an opportunity certainly to catch attention nationally. But I think the most important thing in my mind is just to send the seniors out with a win and send them out the right way. They deserve that.
Well, not just on the field, but as a total program off the field as you look to build the infrastructure of this program in terms of facilities and things like that. When you have a program that's being really successful, does that give you an opportunity to move the entire athletic department forward a little more?
No, there's no question. I mean, you look at coming off of 2 straight bowl wins. This year our donors were up 25%, our ticket sales were up 25-30%. So, success breeds success. And so we'd love to win that bowl game because that would send us into, the off season with a lot of momentum. But I think we're going to have tremendous momentum regardless, just because we are coming off two huge wins. And fortunately, we've had some signature moments that people are going to remember this year, like the Arkansas win and the fake punt return. But it would be icing on the cake. It's important to just continue to help build. I believe very strongly in where this program can be. I think it has potential to be just like Boise, to be one of the best Group of 5 programs in the country and competitive with anybody. And part of that is just to continue to have consistent success.
Was the consistent success that you guys have had over the last couple of years, did that help you as you got the indoor practice facility and some of the other projects that you have gotten underway here? Did that help in that process?
Yeah, it's helped for sure. You come in and you talk about, here's our strategic plan, here's our vision, here's how we're going to try and build the program. But I'm not the first person, Coach Luttrell's not the first person, Coach McCaslin, any of our head coaches are not the first people to come in and talk about that. And so when you have success, it's tangible evidence. We know inside this building the work that goes on every day and the process that's going in to helping to build champions and prepare leaders. So the outcome on Saturdays is just another metric that's reflective of that work that goes on every day. But for your fans who aren't in this building every day, they only get to see that outcome on Saturday. So they judge the work that goes in all year by hundreds of people in this department by those results that are on the scoreboard. And so I think it is important because it allows people to really believe in what you're saying, believe in the vision that you're casting, and believe where you're trying to take the program.
You feel good about where you guys are headed as a program because of those moves that you've made?
I do. But let me clarify and say it's not moves that I've made. It's moves that everybody that's invested in this program have made. Our coaches, our student athletes, our administration. President Smontris is the best president that I've ever worked for. Chancellor Rose come in and been a tremendous addition to campus as a whole, but she really believes in college athletics and understands the value that it brings. Her husband was a college athlete. At least one of her sons was a college athlete. Just finished up at Virginia Tech as a football player. So, our board's been huge. Brent Ryan is a ardent supporter. There's several of those board members who have contributed in substantial ways to some of the projects and initiatives that we've taken on. And so it really is changes that we've all made. When your donor base grows by 30%, or you set a record in ticket sales or a record in donations, those people have a direct role in the success that we're having. And the wins and losses are important, but when I tell you that we really are more focused on what do we do every day to build the character traits that go into champions and leaders, that's where our focus is. And I think the byproduct of that is success and competition.
Sense a lot of enthusiasm just around the program at this point with what you guys accomplished in this team?
Yeah, people are excited. I think when you look at just the amount of social media increases in our followers and stuff, and Eric Capper and his team keep track of that, but we've had monumental increases in all of that. So that's an indicator. Certainly ticket sales are an indicator. We've continued to set records in both season attendance and single game attendance. If you go through our top 10 all-time home attended games, probably 5 or 6 of those at least have happened in the last 2 seasons. And so, there's no question that we sense the momentum in this building. I think everybody senses it. I think the student athletes, if you were to ask them, sense it. I think campus senses it. I think our fans sense it. I think the people in this building that work every day, sense it. And we're all very dedicated to keeping that going.
You guys have really supported Stephen Pettit, who's going through some tough times right now. Has that been important to you guys as a department? What you guys have been able to do for him?
Yeah. To have somebody like him who, I didn't expect, but to watch him, a father with small children, be inspired by our student athletes and our coaches and what happens here every day, that's very powerful. And at the end of the day, you win and lose games, and but that's what we're here for. And so that guy's a hero, man. I have so much respect and admiration for him.
There's been a little bit of talk about Coach being a target for, maybe the Kansas State job or other jobs.
I hadn't seen that at all. Is there?
Hadn't seen it at all?
No.
Yeah. Is there anything more that you know at this point?
We don't. I mean, here's the deal. Any job that opens that's a Power 5 job, I can't make their entire list, but I can tell you 4 or 5 guys that's going to be on that list. And Coach Luttrell, due to his success here, is one of those guys. But I know this. He and I office down the hall from each other. So because of that, we get to talk all the time. And we met 2 or 3 times last week. Each of those ranging from 30 minutes to one day we sat there and talked for 2 hours. And so we talk a lot. He very much believes in what this program can be. He's very happy here. His family's very happy here. They get to come to games. The time may come when he gets an offer that he can't refuse. And when that happens, I'm going to tell him thank you for the contributions he's made here, and I'm proud for him. But I would be disappointed, and I think he would be disappointed to think that we've spent all of this time building a program whose success was hinged to one person. I just don't believe that that's where we are as a program. I believe that we've invested the resources, our fans, our campus, our administration's invested the resources to where this is a great football job, one of the best in the group of 5, one of, if not the best in our conference, and one of, if not the best in Texas, which is a great place to live, great place to recruit student athletes to. And so I'm very bullish on our potential to keep Coach Luttrell. But I also have a comfort in knowing that due to his efforts, the efforts of our coaches, the efforts of our student athletes, the efforts of our administration and staff, campus leadership, that we have a situation here that would be highly attractive to a lot of great candidates. And I just feel strongly that we're going to be able to continue being successful.